Hello class, today we're going to be discussing how you might use Pinterest in your historical figures project. So there are a couple ways that you could go about it in terms of you could either make a board or a collage on Pinterest. To make either of those, you would start out, this is your home on Pinterest, you would click your boards, and then they're here. When you go through them, you should be able to access them. We would click create. Well, we'll do the board first. And you could make your Pinterest board, whether it be about sharing the timeline of your historical figure's life. You could do it as just sharing information about your historical figure with your peers. You could do a board that is about the historical figure, but told from the historical figure's point of view. So instead it would be like the historical figures making the board themselves. So we'll go with Martin Luther King Jr. as an example. And make this private just to have it in the classroom. Create. Oh, I have my example over there. Create. And it'll give you some options to add to your board. Another good one that you could use in terms of making your board, you could do a board that shares quotes of your historical figure, and that's a good one for Martin Luther King Jr. So to add the images to your board, you would just, in the search right here, start clicking save, and it would add any of the pictures that you want. If you're going the quote route, obviously you would add specifically quotes to match the prompt you're going for your board. If you wanted to just share images about him or his life, these are some good images. This is his family, some good images of him in speeches. This would be a good one as well if you were sharing points of his life. Then you would click done after you've added a couple of them. Oh. And now these images are just in your board about Martin Luther King Jr. And then we would share it in the classroom. Another way you could do it is through a collage. I really like the collage because it gives you a lot of freedom. So you would do the same thing, your boards, but you would click collages, you would click create, and then collage. So we'll stick with MLK and stick with the idea of a quotes aspect. So you would then click on these images. You would first search up what you're looking for. So Martin Luther quotes. We'll do that. And then you could just click the plus button to add any of them to your collage. This is the box for your collage right here. You're able to add text as well and draw on it, or upload images if you had specific quotes you already planned to use, or images you plan to use if you were making a board about their timeline or about it being from the historical figures. So if you did a collage as your historical figure, you could do a collage made by Martin Luther King Jr. So if you click the add button, it adds the image right here. Then you're able to resize it and fit the images in there however you would like. Let's go ahead and add a couple. Add. Size them around. You want to make sure that you're able to still read any of the quotes if that's the route you're going to go. Some of them might be more if you just did the timeline version, then you could sort the images however you want. You wouldn't have to focus on whether you can see the words or not. But that's all about whatever idea you go with. And then to move it to the front, if I want this one in front of this one, I would bring it down. You're also able to change the background as well. If you wanted to add text, we could do Martin Luther King Jr. quotes. And then you would put that there. You could move it around and change the color. But that is how you would make a collage. Obviously I don't have time to finish a whole one. But those are just a couple of ideas that you can use Pinterest to make boards for your historical figure project. Thank you and have a good one.